So Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio slamming Germany's government for allowing its spy agency to monitor and label the conservative oppositional party, AfD, as extremists, a move Rubio called tyranny in disguise. We have a lot to talk about, and it's our privilege to bring in the Vice Chairman and CEO of the Munich Security Conference, Benedikt Franke. Benedikt, great to see you. Your reaction to our Vice President and Secretary of State's reaction to the banning of AfD?
See, so everyone is entitled to have an opinion on German politics. The American Vice President, the American Secretary of State obviously are entitled to have an opinion on German politics. We have an opinion on US politics too. I just want to call for a little caution. Yes, it is true that our domestic security agency has labeled the most right-wing party as extremist, but a lot of people think that is like banning them or that there is a process to ban them. This is not what is going to happen.
So, yeah, he wrote this, and this is what he put up over the weekend. Germany just gave its spy agency new powers to surveil the opposition. That's not democracy. It's tyranny. What is truly extremist is not the popular AfD, which took second in the recent election, but rather the establishment of a deadly open border immigration policies that the AfD opposes. Does he stumble onto something? Because it looks like I shouldn't say stumble. Is he circling something that's important to the German people too? And that's immigration.
Of course, and that is one of our key problems at the moment. And here, as in many other countries around the world, the populist parties have the right questions, but they don't have very good answers. And here to the question is our immigration system at its brink? Are we doing a good job at reacting to our citizens' legitimate concerns about immigration, about the inflow of people into our country? And it is true that the other parties need to get a lot better at dealing with this, yes, somewhat uncomfortable topic.
I mean, one thing that happened in Germany that really seemed to have rocked your society is your basically open borders. Everyone was able to stream in, and it created a lot of resentments in your country. It sounds very familiar with what's happening here. Friedrich Merz was supposed to be your chancellor, was supposed to have won the vote yesterday, but for the first time in modern German history, he did not win on the first ballot. What happened?
You know, I was expecting to come on this show, Brian, and say how great it is that he got elected in the first move. So that obviously didn't work out. It was earlier this morning. They've now just said they'll try later today. Yes, obviously, I would have wished that the government of Friedrich Merz starts with a strong mandate from the Bundestag, our parliament. But I'm pretty sure that they'll make up for this initial mishap very quickly.
All right, so that'll be one of the main things he'll do if he becomes chancellor. Here's what J.D. Vance said about when it comes to Germany, the EU, and support for Ukraine.
For years, we've been told that everything we fund and support is in the name of our shared democratic values. Everything from our Ukraine policy to digital censorship is billed as a defense of democracy. But when we see European courts canceling elections and senior officials threatening to cancel others, we ought to ask whether we're holding ourselves to an appropriately high standard.
Is he highlighting differences between our countries?
You know, I was actually the guy leading him up on stage for that speech, and I was as surprised as many others about this claim that we no longer share the same values. Brian, we do share the same values. I do, however, think that he is onto something, that there have been a few instances in Europe in the last couple of years where, yes, maybe we haven't held ourselves to that appropriately high standard. I do believe that most of these things are somewhat overrated in the current debates. We should focus back on these common values rather than on these small little differences.
I looked at one of your goals for your future chancellor if the vote goes his way. And one is to forge a better relationship with President Trump, repair relations with your neighbors. And the other thing you're considering, and tell me, is that true, along with building up your military? Do you believe plans are in place for all those things?
Yes. I know plans are in place for all these things. I think President Trump and Friedrich Merz will get along. Friedrich Merz is a lifelong transatlanticist. He's very pro-American. He is a businessman at heart. I think that will go down well with President Trump. And yes, there are plans to massively ramp up military spending, which we should have done years and decades ago, but better late than never. And we will massively invest in our infrastructure and get the economy back off the ground. So yes, plans are in place.
And you have Taurus long-range missiles that you're considering giving Ukraine. Are you going to do that?
Friedrich Merz has said that he will do that, yes.
Wow, that'll affect everything on the battlefield. Benedikt, Franke, hopefully you guys work things out today and get a chancellor. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks for having me back.
All right, you got it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.